My friend, here's the harsh truth. Most men don't want to admit a woman can like you like crazy and still act like she doesn't. Listen, folks, let's be real. Most men overthink every little thing a woman does. She smiles one day, she's cold the next. She looks at you then, pretends you don't exist, and you start wondering if you're losing your mind. You replay conversations, you analyze text messages, you search for hints that never feel clear. But here's the part nobody tells you. Women rarely show interest directly. They show it sideways, indirectly, quietly. And if you don't understand female psychology, you're going to miss every signal she's trying so hard to hide. That's where men get stuck. You think she's ignoring you because she's not interested, but often she's doing it because she is interested, maybe more than she should be. She doesn't want to look desperate. She doesn't want to risk rejection. She doesn't want you to know how much power you actually have. And I'm here to help you see what you've been blind to. I'm not here to comfort you. I'm here to make you wake up. Because once you understand these hidden signs, you stop chasing the wrong women and you start recognizing the right ones instantly. This video will open your eyes in a way most men never experience. Let's get into it. Number 1. The look she can't control. My friend, let's be straight about something most men completely overlook. When a woman likes you but tries to hide it, her eyes betray her every single time. She can silence her mouth, she can control her texts, she can regulate her behavior. But her eyes, those are uncontrollable. And if you learn how to read them, you'll see what 99% of guys are blind to. Picture this. A man named Daniel, 47, divorced for 3 years, goes to his local coffee shop every morning. There's a woman there, Emily, 38, works remotely and sits by the window. Daniel tells himself she's out of his league, younger, probably not interested. But here's what he doesn't notice. She keeps glancing at him when she thinks he isn't looking. Not once, not twice, over and over. She looks away quickly. Then a few minutes later she looks again. That repeated pattern, that's not coincidence. That's not politeness. That's attraction trying to stay hidden. See, folks, when a woman wants you but doesn't want to reveal it, her eyes behave in 3 ways. First, they find you in the room even when she's pretending to be busy. Second, they drop quickly the moment you catch her. Third, they soften when she thinks you aren't paying attention. That softening is key. It's subtle, warmer, almost like her guard drops for half a second. But here's where most men fail. Instead of noticing, they question themselves. They assume they imagined it. They assume she wasn't really looking. They assume it meant nothing. And that's exactly why they stay confused. A woman can be shy, guarded, intimidated, or scared of rejection, but her eyes still react to the man she desires. That instinct isn't logical, it's primal. And yes, it's stronger in younger women, but it's just as present in women in their 30 seconds and 40 seconds who don't want to look too eager. Let me break this down like a brother who's been around. If a woman gives you recurring, unplanned eye contact, she's already thinking about you. Women don't repeatedly look at men they feel nothing for. They're too socially aware for that. They know the signals their eyes send. So if she's giving you those signals anyway, that means she couldn't stop herself. Hidden desire always slips through the cracks. And I'll give you one more sign, because this one is pure gold. If her eyes widen for a split second when she looks at you, trust me, that's real interest. That widening is involuntary. It's a biological response to someone she finds attractive. But here's the part men never understand. You don't respond by staring back like a lost puppy. You hold your frame. You meet her eyes once calm, steady, and then you look away on your terms. That's what creates the polarity she feels but doesn't admit. Now, before we move on, I want you to drop a comment to anchor this lesson in your mind. Say, "I see clearly." That's your statement of awareness. And stick with me, because what comes next will help you understand not just her eyes, but the way her behavior shifts when attraction gets stronger than her ability to hide it. You're going to see things you've missed your whole life. Number 2. The nervous tells she slips. My friend, let's talk about something most men completely misunderstand. When a woman likes you but tries hard not to show it, she doesn't give herself away with grand gestures or dramatic clues. No, what actually betrays her are the tiny nervous tells she can't suppress. The little slips. The moments when her body reacts before her mind catches up. And if you don't know how to read these signs, you'll walk right past real interest without even realizing it. See, folks, women are masters at controlling their words. They can pretend they don't care. They can act uninterested. They can keep their tone neutral, their answers short, their behavior calm. But their nervous system, that part doesn't lie. When attraction hits, it hits fast, and her body responds before she can build her defenses. Maybe you've seen it before without recognizing it. She adjusts her hair when you walk into the room. She fidgets with her jewelry. She bites her lip without meaning to. She laughs at something that wasn't even funny. Her breathing shifts. Her posture changes. These reactions aren't planned. They're instinctive. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." She may think she has control over her emotions, but attraction is not an outside event, it's internal. And that's why it leaks through her body language, no matter how hard she tries to stay composed. Let's break it down in a way no one ever explained to you. When a woman is around a man she genuinely desires, she becomes more aware of herself. That self-awareness creates nervous energy. And that nervous energy needs an outlet. So it shows up in small, revealing ways. Her voice might get slightly softer or slightly higher. Her sentences may stumble. She might look away too quickly or look at you too long. She'll shift her weight from one foot to the other. She'll tuck her hair behind her ear, even when it's not in the way. These are classic physiological cues of emotional activation. But here's the part. Most men never grasp the stronger her attraction is, the harder she tries to hide it. Women don't want to look obvious. They want to maintain their dignity and avoid rejection. So in trying to stay composed, they actually expose themselves even more. You'll notice her hands. Women reveal more through their hands than men ever realize. If she likes you, her hands won't stay still. She'll touch her neck, her collarbone, her sleeve. She'll fix invisible threads on her clothes. She'll smooth her hair, even if it's already perfect. These aren't signals she consciously chooses, they're anxiety regulators. Epictetus said, "If a person gave away your body to some passerby, you'd be furious. Yet you hand over your mind to anyone who insults you." Apply this here. Don't let her nervousness control your confidence. Don't read her fidgeting as weakness. Read it as attraction. Stay centered, stay grounded, stay calm. That's masculine power. At the end of the day, men who understand these subtle cues stop chasing the wrong women and start noticing the right ones. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to perform. Just observe. A woman who secretly wants you will always reveal herself in her nervous tells, even if she doesn't say a single thing. Now, before we move to the next part, drop a comment to anchor this idea. Write, "I read signals." That's your reminder to stay aware. And stay with me, because what comes next will show you the emotional reactions she tries hardest to hide, yet they're the ones that reveal attraction the fastest. You don't want to miss this. Number 3. The switch she shows only with you. My friend, here's something most men never catch when a woman likes you, but refuses to show it directly. She'll reveal it in a way she can't fake. She flips a switch around you that she doesn't flip for anyone else. It's subtle but powerful. And if you're paying attention, it tells you everything you need to know. See, folks, women are social shapeshifters. They adjust their energy depending on who they're around. With co-workers, she's professional. With friends, she's relaxed. With family, she's warm. But with a man she secretly desires, everything shifts. Her tone, her posture, her attention, her reactions. It's like her whole nervous system recalibrates when you walk into the room. And here's the real clue. She doesn't decide to do this. It happens automatically. You'll notice she becomes more gentle with you even if she's blunt with others. Or she becomes more playful with you even if she's serious with everyone else. Sometimes she gets quieter around you even though she's loud with her friends. Other times she becomes more talkative even though she's usually reserved. The point is simple. Her energy changes in your direction. Not toward everyone, just you. This is why the Stoics always talked about observing behavior, not words. As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When she's around you, her energy changes color. You're seeing her internal world, not her external mask. Think about that for a second. She might not touch you. She might not flirt. She might even try to act uninterested. But the way she responds to you is different from how she responds to every other man in the room. That's the switch. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Maybe she lights up a little more when you speak. Maybe she listens more intently. Maybe she gives you longer answers while giving everyone else short ones. Maybe she responds to your texts faster than she responds to anyone else's. Or maybe she gives you softer eye contact, even if she avoids direct looks with others. It's all the same pattern. A shift, a subtle pivot, a change in emotional frequency. But here's where most men mess it up. They react too fast. They push. They chase. They try to take advantage of the switch instead of letting it unfold naturally. And the moment they do, she panics. She tightens up. She pulls back. She hides the switch again. The Stoics warned about this. Epictetus said, "No great thing comes into being all at once. Attraction is not instant. It grows in layers. If you try to force it, you destroy it. That's why your job is simple. Stay calm. Stay steady. Let her shift toward you without grabbing at it. A woman will only reveal her deeper interest when she feels your stability, not your hunger. And here's the real truth most men ignore. When a woman shows you this switch, she's not just interested. She's invested. She's emotionally responding to your presence. And emotional response is the root of real attraction. Now, before we move forward, drop a comment to anchor this idea. Write, "I see energy." That's your reminder to pay attention to what matters. And stick with me, because the next part explains a sign so strong most men mistake it for rejection when it's actually the opposite. You don't want to miss this. Number 4. The questions that give her away. There's a moment in every interaction with a woman who secretly likes you when her curiosity betrays her. She starts asking questions she wouldn't ask a man she feels nothing for. Not bold, obvious questions, but subtle, emotional ones. Questions that reveal she's paying attention. Questions that show she's thinking about you when you're not around. Questions that expose her investment. And here's the key. Women don't do this by accident. Curiosity is emotional exposure. A woman guards that instinct closely. If she's asking personal, future-leaning or connection-building questions, she's doing it because something in her wants access to your world. Maybe she asks about your weekend but wants specific details, not just the headline. Maybe she asks who you were with. Maybe she asks what you're working on. Maybe she asks how you think, what you believe, what you want in life. Even small questions about your habits, preferences, and routines carry weight because they show she's imagining herself inside those spaces. This is why the Stoics emphasized paying attention to intention, not appearance. Seneca wrote, "Look for the motive, not the act." Her words might sound casual, but the motivation behind them is what matters. When she's curious, she's emotionally open. When she's emotionally open, she's attracted. Simple. You'll notice her questions have a specific rhythm. First, she tests the surface safe questions, nothing risky. Then when she feels you're calm, she goes deeper. She wants to understand how you think, how you make decisions, what you value. She's trying to see if she fits into your world and whether you're a man whose presence she can mirror, follow, or trust. Here's the twist most men overlook: she'll never ask these questions directly. She disguises them inside light conversation, a casual tone, a soft laugh, a little shrug, all designed to make it look like she doesn't care. But she does, because her curiosity is personal. And if you miss this sign she notices, women can feel when a man is emotionally blind, when he can't read the layers beneath the surface, when he responds to her curiosity like he's talking to a coworker instead of a woman who's leaning toward him, and when that happens, she pulls back. So your role is simple: stay aware, not overeager. Answer her questions, but don't over-explain. Give her pieces of your world, not your entire story. Leave space for her to keep coming toward you. The mistake most men make is dumping everything: feelings, intentions, validation, because they're excited she's paying attention. But the power of this dynamic isn't in the amount of what you share. It's in the quality. A man who answers calmly, confidently, without trying to impress, creates desire. A man who overshares kills the mystery. Marcus Aurelius said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." When you stay composed, her curiosity grows. When you remove the chase, she begins chasing. When you don't rush to fill the silence, she fills it for you. Her questions multiply. Her investment deepens. Now, before we move on, drop a comment to anchor the mindset. Right, I attract curiosity. That will remind you of the power in letting her come toward you. And listen, if you want deeper breakdowns, advanced psychology, and weekly training that I can't share publicly, join the members-only community. Inside, I can say the things YouTube won't allow. You'll get strategies, examples, and mindset shifts that will change the way women respond to you forever. Stay with me, because the next part reveals a sign men almost always ignore, even though it's one of the strongest indicators of hidden attraction. It's one you need to understand. Number 5. The jealous spark she hides. There's a very specific moment when a woman likes you but doesn't want you to know. It shows up fast, disappears even faster, and if you aren't paying attention, you'll completely miss it. It's that tiny flash of jealousy she tries to hide, because showing it would expose her feelings. Women guard their emotions carefully, but jealousy slips through the cracks before she can cover it. Take this simple scenario. Ethan, a 31-year-old software engineer, is talking with a coworker after a meeting. They're just laughing about something stupid that happened at work. But across the room, Claire, 27, bright, outgoing, the woman he's been sensing a subtle tension with, glances over. She tries to keep her expression neutral, but her eyes tighten for half a second. She shifts her weight. She fiddles with her jacket zipper. She laughs too loud at the joke someone just told her. That's the jealous spark. Quick, controlled, almost invisible. But it's real. Here's the thing: women rarely express jealousy directly, especially if they're still trying to figure out where they stand with you. Instead, you'll notice it in changes in her mood, her tone, or her attention. She may suddenly go quiet, or suddenly go cold, or suddenly become extremely interested in whoever you're talking to. Sometimes she'll even throw in a light, "So, who was that?" said with a smile, but a smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. Why does this happen? Because jealousy is tied to investment. A woman who doesn't care about you won't react. She has nothing to lose. But the moment she feels even a small sense of competition, her emotions get activated. And that activation is desire. You'll also see jealousy show up in behavior shifts. Maybe she was warm and talkative earlier, but the second another woman steps into the picture, she becomes distant, not because she's mad at you, but because she's frustrated at herself for feeling something she didn't plan to feel. This happened to Ethan again a week later. He showed Claire a funny meme another woman had sent him just as a joke between friends. Claire's reaction was subtle but unmistakable. She blinked a little too slowly. Her voice softened, then tightened. She changed the subject quickly, and an hour later she texted him first, something she rarely did. Women communicate their jealousy in layers. It's rarely loud, it's rarely dramatic. It's quiet, emotional, and fast. But once you learn to see it, you'll understand exactly where she stands. This is why younger men misunderstand women so often. They look for big signs. But attraction lives in small, almost unspoken reactions. A woman may never say "I want you," but she can't stop the micro responses that reveal she does. And here's the part most men get wrong. When you see jealousy, don't comment on it. Don't tease her. Don't call it out. Don't make it a big moment. Just stay calm. Stay centered. Keep the conversation flowing, because your composure deepens her attraction. She feels the pull without feeling exposed. Before we move into the next section, take a second to anchor this mindset. Drop a comment saying "I read the signals." It's a simple statement, but it sets your identity as a man who sees what others miss. And stay with me, because the next sign is even more subtle. Something women do unconsciously when they feel drawn to you, but aren't ready to let that desire show. It's one of the clearest indicators you're in her head, more than she wants to admit. Number 6. The mixed signals that mean yes. One of the most confusing experiences for men is when a woman sends mixed signals. She pulls you in, then she backs away. She gives you attention, then suddenly goes quiet. She acts warm in private, but guarded in public. And most men immediately assume something is wrong. They think she's losing interest, or she's playing games, or she's not serious. But here's the truth, hidden in female psychology. Many mixed signals aren't a no. They're a yes wrapped in fear, vulnerability, and hesitation. Women feel attraction differently than men. For men, attraction often feels direct, "I like her." But for women, attraction is layered, emotional, and sometimes overwhelming. When she feels something strong, she doesn't always know what to do with it. So she responds in contradictory ways. She may lean in close, laugh, brush your arm, and then suddenly change the subject and shift her body away. She may reply instantly one day, then take hours the next. She may show interest through questions, then avoid eye contact the next time she sees you. It looks inconsistent, but emotionally it's perfectly consistent. She's fighting herself. One part of her wants you, another part is afraid of wanting you. This is where Stoicism offers clarity. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." And this mindset applies directly here. Women won't express attraction unless they feel safe, grounded, and understood. If she isn't sure yet, her actions don't match her feelings. She pulls and pushes because she's trying to stay composed while her emotions drag her forward. A woman's mixed signals are often the bridge between her desire and her fear. For example, she might ignore your message for hours, not because she doesn't care, but because she cares too much and wants to control the impression she gives. She might keep conversation short, not because she's bored, but because she worries she'll reveal too much excitement. She might cancel a plan not out of disinterest, but because the emotional weight of seeing you feels too intense in that moment. Men who misread these signals either panic or overinvest. Men who understand them remain calm, patient, and centered. And this is exactly why these mixed signals often mean, yes, they show she's emotionally activated. A woman who feels nothing will behave consistently. A woman who feels desire will behave unpredictably until she gains clarity. What should you do when you notice these contradictions? Stay grounded. Stay warm but not needy. Don't chase the cold moments. Don't celebrate the warm ones too hard. Your steadiness is what helps her feel stable enough to show what she actually feels. Stoicism teaches that you cannot control her emotions, but you can control your response. And the more self-contained you are, the more her mixed signals will shift into clear signals. Now, before we move on, here's something subtle when you handle mixed signals with composure. That composure becomes attraction. She sees a man who doesn't get shaken, doesn't get desperate, doesn't spiral into overthinking. She feels safer opening up to a man who doesn't react, but responds. If you're still here, drop a comment saying, "I stay centered." It marks you as the kind of man who doesn't get thrown off by emotional turbulence, a trait less than 5% of men ever master. And stay with me, because the next sign reveals a shift in her behavior, so unmistakable that even the most clueless men finally see the truth of her feelings. It's one of the clearest windows into the emotions she's trying hard to hide. Number 7. The distance that reveals her feelings. One of the most misunderstood signals in female psychology is this one. When a woman likes you, she may suddenly create distance, not because she's losing interest, but because she's overwhelmed by how much she actually feels. To you, it may look like she's backing away. To her, it's self-protection. Let's make this real with an example. Jake, 32, from Austin, had been talking to a woman named Madison, 26. Things were going great: playful banter, long text threads, subtle flirting. But right when the energy started to get deeper, she suddenly pulled back. Slower replies, shorter messages, more dry responses. Jake panicked. He assumed she was done, so he tried harder, calling more, double texting, trying to fix the vibe. But here's the twist. Madison wasn't losing interest. She was catching feelings faster than she expected, and that scared her. Younger women especially feel this. When the connection becomes real, their minds race. Am I coming on too strong? Does he feel the same? What if I get hurt? I need to calm down before I embarrass myself. So they do the only thing that feels emotionally safe. They create distance, and ironically, that distance is proof of her feelings, not the absence of them. The Stoics understood this emotional turbulence long before modern psychology gave it a name. Epictetus said, "People are disturbed, not by things, but by the views they take of them." Women distance themselves not because of the man, but because of their interpretation of the intensity they're feeling. It's the meaning behind the emotion, not the emotion itself, that pushes her to step back. Here's what that looks like in real life. When she likes you, she might act colder than before. When she's afraid of liking you too much, she might stop talking as much. When she doesn't want to expose vulnerability, she creates a small emotional buffer. This is exactly what happened with Madison. After a few days of creating space, she actually hoped Jake would stay grounded instead of scrambling to reel her back in. Because what women want in these moments is simple. A man who doesn't panic when she pulls away. A man who doesn't chase. A man who lets her breathe but stays steady, present, and confident. Jake eventually stopped overreacting and matched her pace. When he did, she slowly leaned back in date invitations, warm energy, flirtatious touches. And once she saw he wasn't desperate, her fears lowered and her desire increased. This is the secret. When a woman distances herself but keeps her connection alive, it's not rejection. It's emotional overwhelm, looking for stability. If you stay calm, she returns stronger. If you chase, she retreats deeper. And this is where most men fail, not because they're unworthy, but because they misinterpret the moment. They take her space personally when in reality it's the moment she's most afraid of losing them. Before we move to the next part, drop a comment saying, "I stay grounded." It's a reminder to yourself and to every man reading that stability is the most attractive response to uncertainty. And keep watching, because the next sign exposes a behavior almost every man misreads, even though it's one of the strongest indicators of hidden attraction. Number 8. The pull you in moves she doesn't notice. One of the clearest signs a woman likes you yet tries to hide it is when her body starts doing things she doesn't consciously realize. Women reveal desire not with speeches or confessions, but with tiny involuntary behaviors that magnetize them toward the man they're drawn to. These are subtle, instinctive, almost primal, and most men miss them entirely. It often starts with something small. She angles her body toward you, even when she's pretending to be uninterested. She crosses and uncrosses her legs more when you enter the room. She tucks her hair behind her ear at moments when you're not even talking directly to her. These aren't planned. They aren't strategic. These are automatic responses to attraction, the kind her conscious mind hasn't caught up with yet. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The body reveals what the mind tries to conceal," and this is exactly what happens here. A woman can force her words to sound neutral. She can control her facial expression. She can even deliberately act distant, but her body still betrays her. It pulls in the direction of what she wants. You'll see it in how she moves closer without realizing it. She might step into your personal space during a conversation and not step back. She might lean in slightly when she laughs, even if the joke wasn't that funny. Or she might linger just a second longer than necessary when handing you something, a coffee cup, a menu, her phone, creating a moment of micro-contact she wasn't planning. Another unconscious pull is the way she mirrors your movements. If you rest your arm on the table moments later, she does the same. If you shift your stance, she subtly shifts too. Mirroring is not just psychology, it's biology. It creates unconscious harmony, and women fall into it naturally when they're drawn towards someone. Her tone also shifts. She speaks a little softer, a little warmer, a little slower. She becomes more feminine without intending to. A woman's voice reveals emotional truth faster than her words ever will. And then there's the moment she accidentally moves closer when she has no practical reason to. Maybe there's plenty of space, yet she chooses the seat next to you. Maybe she stands closer in a group conversation even though she was across the room earlier. Maybe she positions herself so you're within her peripheral vision. Again, she's not doing it on purpose. She's not calculating moves like a chess player. Her body is simply responding to the emotional chemistry she feels. The Stoics believed that human behavior often exposes truth long before the mind accepts it. Epictetus said, "What you do proves what you believe." A woman's pull-you-in moves prove her interest long before she ever admits it. These signals matter because they help you understand what's happening beneath her surface. She may act neutral or pretend not to care, but if her body keeps finding ways to be near you, the truth is already showing. Before we continue, take a second and comment. I read signals. It's a short reminder that attraction is often revealed in silence, not speech. And keep watching, because the next sign exposes a behavior men misunderstand constantly, even though it's one of the strongest indicators she's trying not to show how much she feels. Number 9. The attention she pretends not to give. One of the most confusing moments for men is when a woman acts like she doesn't care yet. Somehow she keeps noticing everything about you. She'll ignore your texts, but remember the small detail you mentioned last week. She'll act uninterested when you're around, but somehow she picks up on every shift in your tone, your outfit, your mood. This contradiction isn't random. It's psychology, not chaos. Let's say there's a guy named Brandon, 32, who works in a marketing firm. There's a woman there, Emily, 28, who always pretends to be indifferent. She keeps conversations short, never initiates, never shows overt excitement. But Brandon starts noticing that she reacts instantly when another woman gets a little too friendly with him. Or she suddenly finds a reason to walk by his desk right after he posts something interesting on social media. She's acting distant on the surface, but her attention is locked on him underneath. Women often hide their attention because revealing interest feels like giving up power. That's why she keeps her expression neutral when she sees you, but glances at you the moment you look away. Or she accidentally overhears your conversations, or she knows things you never told her directly. She's paying attention, but she doesn't want you to see the attention. And the funny thing, the more she likes you, the more she hides. But the more she hides, the more intensely she watches. Some women do this because they fear being obvious. Others do it because they want to stay mysterious. And some do it because they're evaluating you quietly, your energy, your confidence, your consistency. Real attraction doesn't start with what she says out loud. It starts with what she monitors in silence. Watch how she tracks your presence. If you're at a social event and talking with others, she might stay engaged in her group but subtly position herself where she can see you. If you're at the gym, she pretends not to notice, but she switches machines when you move. If you're at work, she keeps her head down but perks up when she hears your voice across the room. These are not coincidences. These are instinctive pull responses. And here's something men rarely understand. A woman can ignore your messages, but never ignore your impact. She might not text back fast, but she notices when you stop texting. She might act cool in person, but she remembers every compliment you gave. She might stay silent in the group chat, but she watches your stories more than anyone else. Emily does exactly this with Brandon. She won't admit it, but she already feels something. Her behaviors, those tiny, hidden, quiet signs, are revealing more than she wants Brandon to know. Before we wrap this section, I want you to anchor this understanding in your own mind. Drop a comment saying, "I see truth," and stay locked in, because the final piece ties everything together and exposes the deeper emotional pattern behind all her hidden signals. The part men always overlook until it's too late. Number 10. The soft glow she can't fake. There's a moment with a woman that no amount of acting, pretending, or emotional walls can hide. It's subtle, it's warm, it's almost unconscious, and once you understand it, you'll never confuse genuine desire with politeness again. It's the soft glow she gets around you. This glow isn't about beauty, makeup, or external appearance. It's an energetic shift, a change in her expression, her body language, and the way she responds when you are the one in her presence. You'll notice it in her eyes first. They soften, but they also brighten. It's like her gaze takes an extra half-second before looking away. Not because she's trying to flirt, but because her mind is processing you on a deeper level than she intended. Psychology calls this attentive fixation. But men rarely recognize it because we've been conditioned to look for loud signals, enthusiasm, compliments, direct interest. But the real truth, women rarely reveal their attraction loudly. They reveal it through micro-expressions, especially when they're trying not to show interest. The soft glow is her losing a little bit of control. Her guard drops, her voice warms, her face becomes more animated, even if she's trying to stay composed. She'll smile without realizing she's smiling. She'll lean in without being aware she's leaning in. And when the conversation ends, she'll walk away with that small, lingering expression, almost like she's trying to recover her cool. That glow is a biological giveaway. When a woman feels emotionally safe yet subtly excited, her nervous system shifts, her muscles relax, her tone softens, and her feminine energy rises to the surface. She can suppress interest, she can ignore messages, she can act distant, but she cannot hide how her body reacts to the man who impacts her. You might notice she becomes more playful around you, even if she's usually serious. Or she becomes more gentle, even if she's usually confident and sharp. Or she starts opening up in ways she doesn't with other men. That's the glow. It's the feminine response to a masculine presence she respects. And what triggers this glow isn't looks, money, or lines. It's how grounded you are. It's the calmness of your speech, the steadiness in your posture, the ease in your voice. Women respond to men who are anchored, not anxious, present, not performative, certain, not seeking approval. That's why you'll see this glow appear most strongly when you're not trying to impress her. When your attention is relaxed, when you're not chasing, when you're simply being a man who leads his own world. In that presence, she doesn't just look at you, she feels you, and her body reacts before her mind catches up. This glow is important because it's the one signal she doesn't consciously control. She can hide feelings. She can suppress texting you. She can pretend you don't affect her. But she cannot mask her natural feminine response when she's around a man who activates her deeper attraction. If you ever see that softness, the light in her eyes, the warmth in her tone, the subtle spark in her expression, pay attention. Women do not glow for men they don't care about. They glow for the man they feel pulled toward, often before they're willing to admit that pull out loud. And when you see that glow, you're not guessing anymore. You're reading the truth. So that's the truth behind the subtle signs women show when they're trying to hide their feelings. Throughout this video, you learned how to read her eyes, her tone, her distance, her mixed signals, and the quiet ways her body reveals what her words won't say. These insights aren't just psychology, they're tools to help you stay grounded, confident, and in control of your emotional world. If you want to dive deeper, get early access to new content, and unlock exclusive breakdowns, make sure you join the channel membership. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss what's coming next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.